And I think Senator Clinton believes that that is her greatest strength in this argument about electability that she and Barack Obama were engaged in all week long, although she did seem to take a cue from the superdelegates and get off Obama in her latest ad in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and your children are safe and asleep. But there's a phone ringing in the White House, and this time the crisis is economic. Home foreclosures mounting, markets teetering. John McCain just said the government shouldn't take any real action on the housing crisis. He'd let the phone keep ringing.
Let us stipulate that the phone doesn't ring all that often in the White House at 3 a.m.
We just got a jobs report. Wake up the president.
The phone just keeps ringing.
First of all, that indicates a preposterous understanding of A, the presidency, and B, our economy. She says over and over again, the economy needs a commander-in-chief, as though we had a command-and-control economy. Second, when the phone rings in Washington about the economy, it is usually an industry or a corporation calling because it does not like what the free market, because it does not like what the free market is doing to it. To which the thing to do is to let the phone ring.
Well, it is interesting, though, because I think it was not just the superdelegates, but the voters who were saying, I like her, but her campaign's getting too negative. And so by doing this, she's done a couple of things. She's gone negative on McCain instead of Obama. She is positioning herself as the nominee by saying, I'm taking on the Republican, not this Democrat over here, and I think that, you know, she's emphasizing the economy. So even though it's a kind of silly ad, it's not a dumb, it's not
smart strategy.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I mean, the important issue here is economic security. I do think it's been unfair to Barack Obama that he's been pigeonholed as someone who talks about hope and hope. He needs to address the concrete conditions of how people in Pennsylvania, West Virginia are living. But he's given 3 great speeches. Everyone's focused on the race speech. He spoke in Wisconsin, where he did win some of the white working class, about trade. He spoke about the costs of war in West Virginia, gave, I thought, a brilliant speech on the factors of financial deregulation and our financial meltdown. I think he can move that, and he needs to talk hard about the economy and costs of war, because hope and change haven't played that well in the old economy.
No, exactly.
You know, change means losing your job.
No.
Yeah.
But on this electability argument, Dan, it does seem that the McCain campaign, at least, has decided, and maybe this is wishful thinking on their part because they believe that Obama is going to be the nominee, they decide he's the weaker opponent relative to Hillary Clinton.
Right, because they think on any issue, even though foreign policy, national security is the issue McCain wants to talk about, and it's the ground he's most comfortable in, he can keep coming back to experience during tough times. And he's got experience during tough time, and Barack Obama doesn't. And by the way, it comes back to the VP issue. If you pick a VP who reinforces that sense of there are adults here that are in charge, Barack Obama, you're a wonderful idea. You've had an important 3 years of service to our government. But, you know, in times of crisis...
And I think that the Democrats are somewhat concerned about that as well, and therefore that's why this race isn't over. I mean, the reason this race isn't over on the Democratic side is because people have not decided that Barack Obama can win the presidency.
I think it's good.
And so they... Oh, I think it's good for the party, too.
That it goes on.
Absolutely.
Energy, turnout.
All of that. And, you know, the voters are not hearing all the stuff we're talking about. The voters are hearing the candidates out on the stump talking about McCain.
I wish we had this situation in the Republican primary. It would be good for our party, and it would actually be good for McCain's electability in the end if he was actually...
The number of people signing up as Democrats to vote is just incredible.
And I think most Democrats have come to this view up to a point. And I think this depends on whether or not, and I think a lot of these superdelegates are just expecting that sooner or later, either Barack Obama is going to get close in Pennsylvania or he's going to win in one of the May 6 states, and that'll be it.
And then there'll be an avalanche, and the superdelegates will decide, and it'll be over before it was over in '72 and a number of other races we've had.
I mean, and you showed that clip from 1968. This is not even close to 1968. No. We don't have the ideological differences. We don't have a traumatic, horrible year going into the convention. I mean, I was there in 1968. This is nothing like that.
But you know what? The superdelegates come out of '68 in many ways. They were set up as a firewall to protect the party insiders and establishment. Can we, like, decide to abolish the superdelegates after this election? Can we have shorter primary season, too? Let's look at our system, which is dysfunctional.
Was designed for a short primary season.
No, but I mean, really build it in.
I say let's get rid of caucuses.
The one interesting thing coming out of this election, I think, is it's the end of the top-down primary. I think Hillary Clinton has been hurt by reliance on big donors and insider consultants, whereas Barack Obama, with all the problems and money in our politics, has democratized the system, and there's a bottom-up grassroots media and political culture that I think will come into play
George,
after this election.
he's your best ally on the issue of campaign finance reform. Barack Obama's campaign has eliminated, I think, the desire in Democratic ranks for campaign finance reform.
Absolutely. The problem isn't big money. There is no problem. The blessing is small money, but it goes all the way back to 1964. In 1960, Jack Kennedy had 22,000 contributors. In 1964, Barry Goldwater had 1 million contributors. There was a small contributor base that was a fermentation of a huge political movement. Could be the case this time.
And Dan, we only have 15 seconds left, but this is a big problem right now for John McCain. The one thing he's not doing yet is raising the kind of money it's going to take to compete with the Democrats.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a huge problem. You know, traditionally the way political fundraising has worked and the way John McCain is doing it is you try to get a bunch of fat cats and twist their arms to go tell their fat cat friends to write checks. And what the Republican Party is stunned by is the degree to which people are finding Barack Obama, not the other way around. Fat cats aren't twisting arms. They're going on the web and reaching out to him. And McCain's, it's a very difficult thing for him to compete with if he's going the traditional route.
That is all we have time for today. Thank you all very much.